Hey guys, hi. I would like to share something with you. My name is Nosi. I'm Nosi Pure. I live and work in England, but I would like to reflect on something. I'm tired. I'm tired. I've been working from home and I'm very tired. My name is Nosi Pure. I wear many caps in this society, but I would like to share the two caps that endizifumana important for me. The cap of family restoration, which is quite broad, and maybe the one of the I'm against of power. Privilege and power has poisoned izinto ezininzi in the society. Once you are privileged, you don't put yourself in the shoes of other people because you feel like it doesn't concern me. So if it doesn't concern me, I'm privileged to an extent that you feel like you have the right to treat those that are not privileged unfairly or in a wrong way. I have gone through it all in life, and just because I was born a woman, through my experiences, I've learned to try and empower other people. I've learned to try and educate and to inspire. And through the experiences that I'm in life, I've noticed the difference between the scars that we see. Like if you cut me here with a knife, the zobangu face, you will see the scar. But that wound will heal and close. The only thing that will be left maybe is a black mark here, or something that shows the scar was there, but it has healed. The most dangerous scar in life is the emotional scar that is created by the traumas in our past. And it is that emotional scar that leads us to depression because depression is anger turned to yourself. Depression is anger turned to yourself. I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of power games. I've seen my mother being treated like that, being called names because her sin was to marry. So those that she got married to assumed power and privilege, then assumed the role to hurt her and to abuse us as her children. I think in one of my books, I said a story of how, as a toddler, I was badly bruised and hurt in the ribs because the children of the paternal family put me in a cart, and in order to hurt my mother, they decided to hurt me. And they know this if they listen, because that's exactly how they were taught. They were taught that a woman who marries in their culture may be stupid. I don't know, or it should be their doormat to walk on. They have beaten my mom. All the in-laws, her in-laws, have beaten her, and we saw and we watched. Others have chased her with axes, others have chased her with knives. And today, when we try and talk about it, people think they must silence us. This is my story. So through my past and through those wounds, I became who I am, an activist who will fight the injustices. I wrote books about the family structure about toxicity in families, being toxic. I wrote books about siblings, rivalry, and hate and hate, because those things existed. I shared stories. I remember in one of the books, I shared a story of how my younger sister, who comes after me, was at the age of 6, thrown in the air by one of the relatives up until she broke her arm because she laughed at a dog's vomiters. That is my truth. Some of these truths have shaped who I am because I became a fearless woman, because I felt like, what is it that can happen to me? What's the worst that can happen to me? I've seen it all. Nothing shocks me, but I never had outside scars, but I had emotional scars. That was a reaction to my past traumas. I saw myself writing books about prejudice, about patriarchy, about cultural practices that are harmful to women. The intention for me is to educate. Bear with me when I say this. The intention is to educate, because there are people who still feel that power enables them to be able to hurt each other. I always say gender-based violence. I didn't say domestic violence deliberately, but I always say gender-based violence is a power issue. You assume that you have power than this person just because of your body, because you are male, masculinity, and you feel like you have a right to clap, to beat another person. Bear in mind that I've learned the harsh way that women, in taking back their power, maybe have become the ones now who wants the same power because are abusing the man. In the case of men versus women, I've realized that women would show one scar that she provoked a man to give her so that she has evidence. But in return, she would create hidden scars that would cause him depression. Again, the intention is to win. It is a power game. I've learned to talk about these issues so as to empower other people, because others did not beat women, but psychologically they have led them to depression. They have used the economy, their economical power, to disarm women, to send them to depression. If you hear me well, I'm not talking about men being abused by women only, but I talk about also men abusing women. To rape a woman is a power issue, because you are taking her body against her will. That is why the justice system also says that if she says no and you don't listen, even if you are married to her, it is rape. There must be consent. So these issues, all of them have led me to analyze the family structure, to check at the various wounds that we have incurred from our family members, from our chosen spouse, from our siblings, the hate we have developed to our siblings and their children, the hate we have developed to the people who see things differently from us, even if we are related to them. This toxicity has led me to talk a lot about the family structure, the family restoration, which is my current movement. Fathers have taught that it is okay to make a woman pregnant in her teenage years, sometimes in only one sexual encounter. And after making her pregnant, because he claims he was playing with her, using her for sex, exploring to her, make her pregnant, but would run away from the responsibilities associated with him being a father, those responsibilities of raising a child. It is very expensive to raise a child. It is very expensive to pay for school fees. It is very expensive to feed a child. They would run away, but when that child is older, they find ways to come back and claim that this is my child. At whose expense? At whose expense? So, in this, I'm challenging you people. Let's start with the relationship between us and our fathers. Even if you are old, but even if you have children, can you test the relationship between them and their fathers? Ask them to write a letter to my father. A letter to my father. Let's start there and mend those relationships between us and our fathers. Because we get wounded by those who were supposed to love us, and we go and bleed in the society or to the partners that have not hurt us, those who end up marrying us, those who end up being our supposedly being our life partners. We bleed into them. But the problem was that I was neglected by my own father. He rejected me. He didn't care. He didn't even know that I exist. He just didn't want anything to do with me. We've got a cry of other girl children who longed for the love of their father in their lives, but the father rejected them, didn't want anything to do with them. That affect them in the way they start relationships. That affects them in the way I'm a little bit tired. I've got this word, but it's gone. Where they transition to adulthood because they are broken. We are broken people. We are creating a broken society, and yet we are creating broken children. So if you are interested into what I'm saying, please inbox me. I would like to do something about the letters to my father. We need to heal. I am a therapist, and I'm using my time to do this because I'm into family restoration. A lot of damage has happened in families. A lot of toxicity has happened in families. It's not only fathers. There are some mothers that neglected their children and came back into their lives when they were older. And you find them saying, she's my child. But all of her life, she was denying that she has a child. But when she is older, or when she is employed and earning money, she wants to say she is my child. We've got women who, because they wanted to get married to a certain man, hide the fact that I'm having a child. So there's a lot of things that we have done to break the family structure, to crack our own children, to wound them, the emotional wounds. I'm someone who cries a lot, but when I cry, sometimes I'm cleansing my soul, I'm healing, because tears are the way that we heal. To men, it has been destructive. Emotional scars have led them to use substances. Emotional scars have led them to be alcoholics. Emotional scars have sent them to depression. And that is something that I would like us to start rectifying. In conclusion, maybe I should open these letters to a letter to my mother and a letter to my father. But for now, my interest is mostly to heal the relationship between daughters and sons. I mean, daughters and fathers. Sons and fathers. etc., etc. That is my interest. We need to heal. We need to tell the untold stories. I'm one person who tells the untold stories. If it has happened, I will say it. My mother used to say, I mustn't be told everything because I don't have secrets. A lot has happened. We have been wounded, and yet we rise. So please inbox me if you are interested in this project of a letter to my father, maybe a letter to my mother. I would see which ones are many. And after that, I will surely arrange therapy in a space that is safe for us all, even as adults. In as much as I love children, I protect children, and I'm interested in those letters amongst the youth and the children. Even as adults, we can talk about this and have a round table where we talk about these issues. One thing that has made me to cry in my professional life was when a son faced his father, and I would say to him, look at him in the eye and tell him how much he has hurt you. And when the child starts saying that, I would find myself looking down and the tears rolling. And when a child tables it, while I say this, I know that there are children who are spoiled, who want us parents to do as they wish, to manipulate us because they don't want to obey the boundaries that we give them, the rules that we set as families. Then they would manipulate them and say, it's you, mom, because you didn't do 1, 2, and 3, and 4. We can also talk about that and have that, what we call those family conferences, where we listen carefully and we provide an advice. I'm providing you a safe space where we can talk about these issues since I'm into family restoration. I always avoid to make big videos. I'll make the second video out of this, but I will just check your response into this. And families need to heal. We need to heal. God bless you.